These children are our future. Sadly, some children witness or experience violence and crime inside their own home and carry that stress and anxiety around, even after law enforcement de-escalated the situation. Left alone, this can create a lot of complications to their development and education. In the case of traumatic experiences that may hinder learning and development, Stanislaus County has been utilizing a program to help support these children and teens throughout the next day, month, or year. If the child can be successful in school, they can be successful in life. One caring adult can make a huge impact on a child's life. Minimizing the trauma children experience during their parents' arrest has the potential to lessen the negative outcomes during adulthood and increase confidence in the police and the fairness of the system during childhood and adolescence.
Typical brain processing goes like this. Anything that's happening outside in the world, things that we see or taste or smell or hear, that information comes in and it goes to the thalamus first. So the thalamus receives that information. And what a typical brain does is send it up to the cortex immediately. The cortex then takes that ball of information and it injects it with more facts. A smarter ball of information, it will then send it on down to the amygdala. And the amygdala is the alarm center. So the amygdala will receive this information. The amygdala will look at it and go, oh, there's no concern here. There's no danger here. I'm not going to sound the alarm. So that's typically how brain processing works, from thalamus to cortex to amygdala. Well, here's how it changes. For a child that's just gone through a traumatizing event, the cortex shuts down, and that's really a survival instinct. The brain and the body are working in cahoots. They're working together, and so they're going to turn off everything that's not needed. And what it's going to do is open up the survival pathway. And the survival pathway is from thalamus to amygdala. What that means is you have a child that might wake up the next morning after a traumatizing or distressing event. Their cortex hasn't yet had a chance to reset. When that child arrives back at school, they're really on that survival pathway, which means they're going to react more than respond.
So the FOCUS program is a program that law enforcement or other first responders can use to notify schools specifically about kids that may have been exposed to some sort of traumatic incident.
When there's a traumatic event that has happened in the home, it is a notification from law enforcement to the child's school. And it's important to know that the school is informed that yes, there's been a traumatic event that has happened in the child's life, but there are no details about that.
So about 3 years ago, the sheriff's office had a paper-based program called FOCUS. The law enforcement officers would have these papers that fill out the child's name, date of birth, and what school they went to. And then at the end of the day, they would turn all this into their dispatch. And then the dispatch would email this information to the school districts to disseminate to the teachers. That's what they approached me with. Can we get an app to do this automatic? And I said, let's just do a web app. We can put a shortcut on any device out there that has a capability of a web browsing. And then it'd be the same interface no matter what device you're on.
That was a game changer, because what that means is now when the officer puts the information in, it automatically goes to the district, to the school, and I get a copy as well.
An officer would get dispatched to, say, to a domestic violence call and go out on scene, and as they're interviewing witnesses and parties, identify that there was kids present in the home during this. It's a very easy process for the officer. We have an app on their phone, and they would simply enter that child's information into this app and press send, and it gets sent over to the school district.
We receive a notification via email that just basically says a student has received a FOCUS notification, and then once we receive the email, we log into the application, and basically it just names the student. And that's really an alert to the school that they need to communicate with the student's teacher or teachers to share that, hey, this student has been exposed to a stressful situation and that we really need to handle the student with care.
The beauty of this FOCUS program is that it creates a safe harbor, a place where we can receive that child at school, give that child a little bit more wiggle room so they can reset, get their cortex back online, be able to use that smart brain. This FOCUS program really sends a clear message to all the school staff, teachers and admins and counselors that are at school, just letting them know, hey, this child might need a little extra attention today, might need a little bit more of a wiggle room so that they can be successful.
FOCUS was actually a program that was developed in West Virginia, and the district attorney's office, she had a couple of folks over there that were made aware of this particular program. They saw a presentation and they thought at the time, oh my gosh, we have to have this back in Stanislaus County because it would be so helpful just for our own local community. District Attorney Birgit Flatiger pushed for the implementation of it here locally. And that's when they brought it to the County Office of Education. And we've been working with them and now a variety of agencies ever since.
What really got Focus going for us was the fact that a district attorney investigator and a probation officer who worked at the Drug Enforcement Agency locally were assigned to do cases for drug-endangered children. And as a result, they went to a conference in West Virginia where they heard a presentation by the folks there about their program, which they called Handle with Care. And they were so impressed by the very simple idea of it, they thought, we've got to bring that back to Stanislaus County.
Focus has been a wonderful safety net for our children. The process is so simple and the benefits are tremendous to support students in their time of crisis. It was easy to roll out because of the long-term collaboration that we have here in Stanislaus County. We're receiving notifications from all law enforcement, from probation, district attorney's office, California Highway Patrol, and social workers with Community Service Agency.
I have been contacted by multiple departments across the state that they want to know how it works, what the impacts are, what the workload on staff is, and then ultimately what the benefit to the kids can be. And as far as I know, everyone that has heard about it ultimately adopts it.
We've had different meetings where we've listened to people from the school districts speak and talk about the impact that has and how much it means to them when they are notified. It's very impactful for them and they feel engaged in being able to take care of those kids.
I'm totally confident that we have made changes in kids' lives, that a simple teacher who takes extra time with a student or a school counselor that gives a child a break, come on in, let's talk, can keep a kid in school, which really makes all the difference for them.
Children are incredibly resilient, and given the proper resources, they can and will overcome adverse experiences. But it is critical that they get the support that they need when they need it. This has been a missing link that we needed to support and have a safe environment for our students so they can thrive at school. We are collectively responsible for our children and families in Stanislaus County. It's not one agency, it's all of us together.
With Focus and the Focus app, Stanislaus County will protect, care, and help every child thrive to make sure their future is a bright one, no matter what environment they live in.